que o bagulho vai ficar louco. Mas é o Brasil, caralho. É nosso, porra! É nosso! 3 vezes!
Vamos! Let's go! Fallen does it with Furia at the Fissure Playground event. This past weekend, they took down the Mongolz, and we're going to talk about it here today on queuedup, where the lobby is open, the mics are hot, and nobody is dodging. With me, the same old crew. We got Pat, we got Davis, we got Dylan. I'm CJ. Let's jump into it. I asked each one of you before the show what emoji would describe the Fissure Playground event for you. And we are going to look at those emojis. We are. Who would like to go first?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I can go first.
Sure.
Well, there you go. All of them are going to be up there at the same time. Davis, why are you so angry?
Because the Falcons didn't show up, man. I said it in the last episode. This is their event to win, and they were looking so good. And then we get to the second round of the playoffs, and they didn't really. Well, 2 players dropped the ball. They played. The series was very close. The score of the game was very close. It was a 2-0, but Monesi and Kiosuke just dropped the ball.
Isn't there like one of those like kind of your guy?
He is, and he dropped the ball completely. He hasn't shown up for multiple series now.
Yeah, we're going to jump into the Falcons at some point during this show, but Pat, why'd you pick yours, man? What's the deal?
I
You
just
got
picked the
some
money
over here.
emoji. Yeah, because I mean that's like how it is with most of these little tournaments like that. It's just like a free little money bag for a couple of them. And so congratulations to Fury for getting that bag, just like Mongolz getting that bag on the EWC. Like just little bags for people to get. I will admit this one was better than the first one though.
It was entertaining.
It was a lot better than the Fissure Playground one. We had a couple better teams, but it's still just like, here's some money for you lower ranked teams.
I just want to jump into this because I saw Dylan's eyes get real big when Pat said little.
Yes, the significance of money. That is Navi's bag from this weekend. That's a little bag. The Furia bag, that's not a little bag.
Yeah, that's a big bag.
That's a big
It's a
bag.
big bag.
All right, we can say big money. That's fine. I didn't want to take the little so serious. Big money, big money.
I picked the little microscope, bro, because I think it's interesting. Furia was not really on my radar, if I'm honest. They've shown promise, but this was an event that, one, their community totally supported them on. They got a lot of praise on this, and ultimately, my eyes are on them now. Like, I don't know what to make of them. I'm not sure what they're going to do next, but I'm excited for it. I think it could be fun.
I'm not sure if Fallen is a wizard or Father Time himself. One of the two. Crazy run. I mean, whenever they needed him the whole time, he was there. Showed up in big series, did enough to get them by every time. And, like, it's not like you're watching a player like Niko or Kerrigan or some of, like, kind of the older guard. Like, for the most part, every time they needed him, he was there to be depended on. He got the job done. He did enough. He did not cost them. He was never a reason they were losing. And at the end of the day, for a guy our age, like, that's all you can ask for, which is crazy.
Yeah, and they jumped up a lot in points because they did play the Mongolz in the finals, and it went Game 5. We got to see all the maps, and the Game 5 itself did not look like it was a series, but every map up to that point was a series, specifically the nuke. I mean, this was a nuke that Mongolz clawed their way back to and almost won, but did not take any rounds in overtime, but they were down 4-12 at one point, and they brought it all the way back to overtime. And that's the map I think they wish they would have back in some ways for me. But I don't know, any other highlights that you guys saw from this best of 5 that you want to praise? Or
Highlight mainly Molodoy, man. He was, like we said last week, he's one of the better operas that's like coming along in the scene, and he proved it throughout this whole playoff. It was good to see Furia finally step up in a land scenario and be able to arrive in playoffs and really play to their best potential, like you had mentioned, like we've seen a couple times, but they always usually fall off towards the end of the event. And this event, they just kept on getting better and better.
It did feel a whole lot like the plays and strategy of this just really overpowered the Mongolz. I felt like kind of got almost out IGL'd to a degree, because when you look at their players and the individual things they were able to do, like, they all played really well. Like, Mazinho had 4 aces in this event. This is the 4th time that has ever happened in a Tier 1 event, which is crazy. And, you know, that's a testament to how good he was playing. Even in the finals, he was playing incredibly well and, like, had so many 2 and 3Ks that were huge clutches. It felt like the Mongolz kept doing enough to claw back, but it never felt like they were ahead. And then it's like when you need a play, it was like every time Fury just has a better play. They have a better stack. They have a better rotate. Yeah. They just got the job done in the end.
Yeah. It was really good to see a finals like this, too. Like, we haven't seen many finals go the distance this year, so another one that finally went to Game 5. And it was really back and forth. It was fun to watch.
It was a good one. The Dust 2, not a great map, though, for the Mongolz. They've looked good on that map before, but they really fell apart. And I don't know if it was because the length of the series or any of that stuff. What do you guys think on that one? Is it just the Mongols not being able to perform, or is that who they are, or what?
I mean, we've seen against bigger opponents at times. It's like, as terrible as it is, every time they play the Falcons, it feels like the Heat coming up with crazy clutches. But is it them clutching, or is it the Falcons with their generational throws at times? But then when you see them play a team like Spirit or Mals or Vitality or one of those guys, usually Dust 2, they kind of get ran off the map. I didn't expect Fury to do that to him. In full transparency, I didn't think, like, no offense to Fury, I just don't think they're quite in the same realm of the Mals, the Spirits, and the Vitalities right now. But like, they did the same thing to him. So it was a pretty heavy, lopsided game.
In the end, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Molodoy show. I mean, pretty much. It was good. I mean, I ain't going to discredit Fallen for his calling or any of the other players, but, like, that was really the key difference that, like, drove them to this win. And the Mongols, unfortunately, like, a lot of their players just weren't showing up. Like you said, they were, like, always behind. And unfortunately for the Mongols, it's like a way I've always felt about them. It's like once they get down a little bit, it feels like they can never make that claw back in front. And they're always playing on that back foot. And unfortunately, they weren't able to play it. Dust 2 is definitely not their strongest map, so it does hurt that was the decider. And yeah, Furia just had their number on that map.
It did.
Overall, good series, though. But
Yeah, it was a great series to watch. We've seen a lot of grand finals this year that have been completely dominant 3-0s, but it did at least go the distance, which I think is cool. And then it was also cool to see just the fans of Brazil. You know, we know in a lot of different sports that, you know, there is a huge culture behind these guys, which, Davis, you're saying something about the numbers before the show, but ultimately it was a huge amount of people watching from Brazil.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprised me. Like, I went to the HLTV page to see, like, just who was watching and where they were all watching. And the stream that was coming from Brazil and that Madhouse clip that we had at the beginning, there was like 300,000 watching it right at that specific moment that I looked. And the next closest was like 40,000 on the Kick stream and like 20,000 on the replayed Twitch stream. So it just showed like how many people were bought into them, supporting them. And I think that's another thing too, that like once Furia really started to catch fire in this grand final, their confidence was just there and there was just kind of no stopping them. Like, we've seen how good they can play at times. And once they realize like, yo, we're doing it right now against Mongols, who's been a top team, they're like, yo, this is our event to win.
It's also, they've got a lot of fun names on that roster. It's like, and this is no offense to the Mongol side, but you usually hear 910 or Mazinho. Those are usually the two. Occasionally Techno pops off a little bit, but then, you know, the other two are pretty quiet. But at any point in time in this event, you know, from K. Serrato to Yakindar to Fallen, I mean, Yuri was probably the quietest person here, and he did not have a bad stat line at all. And that's what, like, I really think since they've gotten Molodoy and K. Serrato, like, this team has felt really, really different. And then, you know, shout out to Yakindar, because I think he had been here for like 2,000 and some days without winning, and then finally gets a big win on the org he decided to stay with, which is a really, really cool thing.
Yeah. And it's also, I mean, Fallen, this is a guy, I remember watching him 10 years ago play on LG, right? Like, there's been a lot of huge moments from Fallen, and the fact that the old man still got it is crazy.
And then I think it leads to your point, too, of, like, it's crazy because he is still, like, promoting Brazil. He has literally raised a generation of players. Like, Snow is currently playing on Pain and was basically, like, living in the shadow of this Titan. And now he is still losing to him because he's still winning tournaments.
Crazy. Yeah. And his dog seeing him at the end.
Yeah.
Little dog come hang out, right?
Yeah.
Like, nice little family moment. But I love that he is kind of a family man now, right? Like, you know, a lot of the young Counter-Strike players are unmarried. They don't have a lot of kids, but he kind of embodies this new type of Counter-Strike player that if, you know, hey, I'm old enough to do this, I can. And I think it's good for the scene. I do.
Yeah, good Fallen, bad Fallen, whatever. He's in finals and winning games.
No more bad Fallen, good Fallen only. I mean, I say that. The leaderboard might say something differently.
Yeah.
The IGL is there, right? He's making the difference for the team.
You take that over Kerrigan.
He had a couple moments, like in the pressure, he really popped up in some big moments for the team.
Let's talk about the Falcons for a little bit. They had a run here. There was two people, I think, that actually picked them to win last week, which was it Nick?
I picked one.
Nick might have been with you.
Yeah, I think it was Nick.
So, but ultimately, it's one of those, like, the Falcons had a couple different storylines on this event. One was they didn't make it to the grand finals. They lost to Furia, right? They also were using the crowd to their advantage in maybe not the best way possible. So there was a lot of PR that went on for them for using the crowd in ways that people didn't really respect, if you would. It's not a gentleman's play, if you would.
Yeah, I think the crowd thing it's whatever. I mean, the venue can do a better job to maintain that, but they just didn't play well. And it's weird because as much flack as we gave Magic for a 6-month window, the team played better with him. And that's like not, I definitely think that net player to player, when you compare Magic to Keisuke, like it is not close. Like new kid, far better. But the team just isn't responding to it. And that could be, as much as I know Davis loves your boy, like Mondesi is not showing up. And you previously had a player who I would argue in the past 18 months has been better than Zywoo at literally opping. And then now you got out-opt in every game you played. Like you lost to every opper. And it's like, you can't have that. He was getting bodied the whole time. Did not look good. I mean, you're literally bottom fragging, and this is a role in which you were supposed to be the top fragger. You were supposed to be the last alive. You're supposed to be clutching. When your swing rate is the worst in the lobby, like, it is not good.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just like you said, he's just not showing up. I mean, 2 years ago, you go back and Mondesi's the best operator on the scene. He's the young gun that you expect to kind of take over and go this next distance. And he was like that on G2. Like at the beginning of this year, he was still playing very good. So it's just something that's like, he's came to Falcons and he just can't perform. He'll perform some games. And like up until this Furia game, the whole team had performed very well. They hadn't played the most like difficult teams, like opponents, but they still played very, very well. And then they played decent in this series, but like you said, Mondesi just completely dropping the ball.
And even niko picked it up. Like, you see here, niko is top of the leaderboard. He was top of the leaderboard for a lot of the series they had. And we were seeing vintage niko, but the problem is like, it's not enough to carry. And that when you play good teams, like you can't get it done with just niko.
They also played really terribly against Furia specifically, where they were just ego chowing everything. It was all about winning that individual gunfight. The set plays were awful. Like they did not come together in those moments, and they just started to do dumb stuff. Like as you watch them move around the map, it's just, this is not a team that is playing as a coordinated team. This is 5 individual players that are just trying to go out and get the kill. And they had been getting the kills up to that point, but I think they kind of lost this whole teamwork thing that goes with that.
But how many times throughout the year have we seen them lose 1v4s? We're talking about that dust play versus the Mongolz. It's like, and then also the Inferno play. And it's like, how many of these times have we been like, dude, you're not playing as a team.
Yeah.
And you're throwing away events. And then now it's like, dude, you can't even make the finals in an event that is not loaded with skill.
Yeah. I mean, they lost a 4v2 in this one. There's always a big play that they just lose. And I think they know they're doing this, and I think it impacts the mental on the team, right? Like you see it happen, you're like, again, guys, are we kidding me? Remember, Maher had the last one on them.
Train.
Yeah, on train where the 3v1, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's just these moments that they just cannot get away from. And I don't know, I mean, I said it, before, it's like I wanted the Falcons to do well in this one, and then I switched to the Mongolz winning this one. After that, but I'm really not a believer in the Falcons at this point. I want them to win, but I think something has to change in a big way on this roster for them to be successful. So.
Yeah, there's no reason to be a believer in the Falcons right now. I mean, it's if you have a team of that much firepower and you can't really accomplish anything, then something's got to change, because it's not just about the skill. I mean, like you said, Magic's to Keisuke is like, it's a vast difference, but it doesn't matter when it comes to the team dynamics, because they're just ego chowing everything. It don't make no sense. They make the most brain dead plays as a professional team that I've ever seen. And it just don't make no sense to me, because you can tell they're clearly upset. Niko's always banging on the desk. He's always upset. They're always frustrated. But it's like, I don't understand like how they're going into these with their team play and setups, because I don't know if it's like an IGL problem they're having, if it's the teams just not meshing together with the changing of roles after losing Magics. Mondesi underperforming. There's just like a lot of issues with the Falcons right now that realistically shouldn't be happening, because obviously Vitality's been in a slump and they were the original, like the top dogs at Counter-Strike. And it's like even their slump is better than the Falcons' best. And it's sad to see.
If you were to put on your GM shoes here, you have arguably one of the best and most winningest coaches of all time. You have probably a top 5, top 6 IGL right now in Counter-Strike. You have arguably the literal most firepower. Maybe Vitality is slightly ahead of you, but it is a 2-horse race for most firepower on a roster. Like, what do you do to fix it?
I mean, that's the thing. It's like you'd have to be like in that room, because like it seems from the outside looking in that based on the way they play the game, it seems like an IGL issue or players aren't listening. It seems like it's one of the two, because they do just make sometimes some brain dead calls. And it costs them rounds, and it happens multiple times, and you make enough plays like that, you just end up losing the game.
The CT side on Nuke against Furia was definitely the most atrocious. I mean, they hit lobby almost every round. Like, they're pushing lobby on the CT side every time, trying to get the kill there. And I mean, to their credit, they were getting it sometimes, but ultimately it did bite them in the butt because they weren't able to. They would just kept getting in these weird spots where they traded and did not win the round because of it, and it was dumb. I think for me, it's like you have to reset the mental on this team. The expectation is too high right now. I think it's an expectation thing where they think winning is the only thing that's good for them, right? Like, hey, if we don't win, we failed in some way, and I think that expectation is just.
Yeah, but I mean, when you spent that much money on a roster,
Oh yeah,
and you have that much firepower, and you have the most winningest coach in the history of Counter-Strike, what is you really want to be like? Let's just podium, guys. If we just make it to top 4, that's
they should have
you know,
played
hey,
in
we'll
StarLadder.
feel
They
good.
should have played in StarLadder and beat NAVI this week.
Yeah, but the thing is, the way they're playing right now, they probably throw that, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It literally feels like they're allergic to winning. It's crazy.
It is. It is. Dylan, let's go to your feed. What you got, man?
So also coming from this event, one of the coolest things that we got to see is we obviously have Twistzz, who's going to be leaving Team Liquid to join FaZe. Not only did he eliminate FaZe in the series, but the kind of farewell gift he has gotten is that they were initially 21st going into this and were most probably not going to be at the Budapest Major. And now they have so many points. I think they're all the way up to 11th. And they're basically as close to auto-locked for the Major, assuming catastrophe, which is an incredible gift. I mean, shout out to TL. Shout out to Twistzz for doing that because, like, I feel like a lot of players would be conflicted in that series. Like, do you really want to sabotage the team you're going to help the team that you're leaving? And, you know, obviously stand-up guy, didn't do anything malicious or bad, but super cool.
Shout out to them. The turnaround that they made after going 0-2 and then getting this far they did in the playoffs, I thought it was pretty tremendous.
I do think that, once again, the announcement in the middle of the event is still odd. Right?
100%.
They're like, so I don't necessarily understand that. It did put Twistzz in a spot where he had to do something, and now he has to show up and say, hey, sorry about that. You know, so
I'm sorry, but let's win this event.
No, my bad. Let's take the next one.
Well, it's also like I think the news of Elysian and all that possibly coming in too is like that gives this roster hope. And when you look for the next 6 months, it's like if you were a TL fan going into this event and then you hear that this player is leaving, hey, we're currently 21st, we're not going to be in a major, we're not going to get invited to cool events. Holy crap, we are done. Whereas like now you're like, cool, I don't know what the new roster is going to be, but like at least you're playing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think there's 2 other stories here, and we can go either way you guys want. I mean, Aurora, what in the world, right? So, like, they kind of fell apart. And the other thing on the other side of this was who's leaving FaZe at this point, right? We don't know. We've heard it could be Rain, but, like, it might be Kerrigan. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, we got that. But, you know, I think those are 2 big question marks for me. Where do I put Aurora now, and what do I do with FaZe? I don't know.
Probably like 15th or something. Aurora. Maybe a little bit.
It just depends on if Xantares shows up. Like, if Xantares shows up, Aurora's a top team, can beat really anybody if he's popping off. But if he's not popping off, they're kind of like Furia. If Molodoy's not popping off, they're not very good. If Xantares isn't popping off, Aurora's not very good.
It does feel like there's like an S tier that's now probably includes 3 teams, mostly because Vitality relinquished their standalone spot. And then an A tier that probably only has like 1 or 2 teams. But then the B tier is like Falcons. They should win events. This Furia team could win events. Aurora could win events. Mongolz could win events, but they also could get 10th. And it's like you're not surprised at either end of the spectrum. You might be like, oh, it's impressive Falcons finally got it done. Impressive Furia finally got it done. It'd be impressive if Aurora finally got it done. But that's a team that's been in the finals multiple times. And they've also been DFR'd in the first team home a couple times.
Inconsistency. Yeah, I don't know. What about the FaZe conversation? What do you guys think?
I mean,
Big out Kerrigan.
Kerrigan.
I think Jacob.
Jacob, new guy on the block, gets knocked, huh?
Jacob, whatever.
They're still going to lose with Kerrigan on the team.
it's tough because I feel like you need what they need to do is redo that roster, and like that's probably changing 2 to 3 pieces. That's not just changing 1 piece.
Yeah.
Because like the vibes are broken, the people are broken. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised. Like honestly, the way Astralis is looking right now, if you were to look to move like a Kerrigan to an old head org like that, and you could build around him, like I can see him still getting top 8s and performing. But like I don't know if these players are like, bro, get your old butt out of here. I'm done with this or what. But like it just feels like you got to get at least 2 to 3 of those pieces out of there.
It does feel like a 4v1 against Kerrigan from the outside looking in. I could see that conversation going that way really quickly.
When you go negative $1 million in an event.
Dude, I'm with Astralis just becoming the old head org. You're sending all the old players to Astralis, and then they just it becomes the old man squad.
Fallen and Kerrigan are both on the way.
I feel like my thing, though, is with this roster especially, is like you still have a lot of people that have been around for a long time and have like a lot of aura, I guess, within like the Counter-Strike scene. if you drop Kerrigan, like what IGL are you going to bring in that's really going to get these guys to get behind him? Like you got to have an IGL that has been established and is wanting this move, and there's just really not any that are available right now.
But
You
also,
could say Kickson from Falcons is like an IGL that could be moved, but like I don't know if you're going to get these players to buy into his strategy.
But it's switch Kickson and Kerrigan.
Well, but it's also one of those where it's like you have, as not cool as it is from a competitive esports standing, like FaZe like kind of stands for something. It's kind of like when I look at Frozen and I look at Rain and I look at a player like Simple and those, it's like those like tatted bad boys, like fun vibes guys, like that is FaZe.
You did not just say bad boys.
But it is. Those dudes are all like they're like it's like an aesthetic, but it's like all the fans like rock with that, right?
Yeah.
If you bring in like if you think about last season, like one of the
why is
bigger
Kerrigan on that team?
but my
Bro don't look like
he
a bad
was
boy.
at one point.
he
though.
was a cooler dude. But
Yeah.
when you look like in the last off season, you had oh my God, on Mal's Brolin. Brolin was like one of the better IGLs around. Dude, could you imagine Brolin on FaZe? It's like, dude, no. Like, this is not going to happen. And that's how I feel about a lot of the IGLs is like, if you got a player like Fallen or somebody like that, it's like, all right, cool. We can kind of build around this. Like, this makes sense. And it's like, if you're FaZe management, you have to partially be like, bro, do we want to lose all our fans if it means winning? Because, like, we also got to sell merch. I think it's a weird conundrum, but, like, dude, they got to do something.
It's weird. Davis, tell us about donk.
So I have donk, and I think this is something that we actually talked about a few weeks ago, and I said that I didn't think this would happen. I don't think he's ever going to leave, but this was a rumor that came up in this tweet, and it says donk could possibly leave Spirit if they fail to perform at the major. And, I mean, if it happens, it happens, but come on to Falcons. We'll drop the big bag.
Yeah.
They still won't be able to win.
Dude, that'd be terrible.
I think this is clickbait.
I don't think it is.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe there is a world where he leaves that organization. I feel like there's a lot of like, that's kind of a family org, that Spirit group, I think. And there is, I think, some social cues that I've seen from that group, specifically with Zontix leaving and how delicate they've kind of been with that.
Sure.
And you know, you could say that Magic's leaving was another one where that one was hard for them. Like they made it very genuine and stuff. So I think this would be a really hard move for donk and that organization. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it does seem a little clickbaity because it's talking about if they don't do well at the next major. And I think they might.
I mean, I think they might. I mean, as bad as it sounds, if donk is on your team, you're a T6 team. It doesn't matter. You put them on that BC game team with Simple right now. Probably
definitely playoffs no matter what.
Yeah, and it's crazy that one player has that much power right now. And if you're donk, like, he's still a kid. Like, he is not 20 yet. He's a very young dude. And, like, when he came into it, he was initially, like, he was a yapper. He was a trash talker. He was, like, really, really animated. And very quickly, Spirit was like, hey, do not do that. Be stoic. Be quiet. Sit down. Shut up. And he listened. But at some point, when you stop winning, stuff's not working anymore. And you're like, bro, I'm not listening. Like, I'm out. Like, if you tell, I can't talk to people. We're not winning. You won't get me good players. You know,
I want to play in more events.
I want to do more stuff. These old guys don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, like, as an 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, you're going to be like, bro, I only got 5-6 years left. I'm not getting seconds forever.
I agree. He's hungry, and if the team is not providing, then he's got to go get his meal somewhere else because they feed him scraps over there.
This is a very, like,
drop Kerrigan
rogue plan. No, I mean, FaZe would be weird. Dude, you could do a VP revival with him, Russian org, get him back, and VP would probably be willing to spend some cheese. And, like, VP, you know, from Pasha Biceps and those guys, they will let you be who you want to be. And, like, that would be a cool Russian, still maybe English move that he could make. But I think it's going to be tough to pry him away, but results will show. If they don't win, that kid's going to leave.
Well, speaking of players that are looking for better teammates, we saw Simple this past weekend. Once again, performing. He shows up, he says, hey, I'm the best, bring the next challenger. And then he gets smacked around a little bit. And he actually had a great stat line here. I say great. He's the best.
I wouldn't call that great.
Well, I mean,
but
the best of his teammates, right? So,
well,
he needs donk. This guy just
technically
needs
he's
donk
second.
on his team. That's all.
He's second on this team.
What is weird, and this is like a continual point I have about, I think this rating thing is stupid. If you look at the stats here, he has a lower kill difference or whatever. He's even. The guy above him is negative. He has a higher ADR. He has a higher swing percentage, a higher damage, a higher first kill, and he has a lower rating. Like, what stat is the difference that is giving this guy the higher rating that's above him? It doesn't. The rating 3.0 is so confusing. I hate this thing.
I mean, it's collective, So it's everything you do
Sure.
on the map. But I get it. It is a little nuance of like you don't know if it's an assist or if it's a headshot or whatever it is for it. But I don't know. I've been watching a little bit of the simple games. They are fun to watch for the Challenger League. I think it's cool. I think he's playing into the crowd a little bit with this tweet, which is fun. And I'd like to see them, continue to expand the roster around Sasha to grow. Be
I
amazing.
mean, I hope
Call him Sasha. Dude.
He's Sasha. Yeah.
I hope he leaves
don't
and
like
go to a
that.
better team because this is painful. Because like he said that he won the competition, they played that, and he had an average game, and most of his team got decimated. And it was like that game is not enjoyable to watch. His next game, he did a 181 plus 23 over 100 ADR. It was absolutely insane. He blew everybody out of the server. It feels like when you watch him play, it does feel like you're watching a pro play casual games, and it's like he's just beating kids that aren't looking the right way. His team's also not looking the right way. Like there's multiple errors everywhere. And so it's one of those where it's like, dude, somebody give this man a chance. I'm tired of watching him play like public lobbies on a Tuesday night.
I still don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready.
I think he's ready.
He'll be at the major.
Yeah.
With the way Monasty's playing,
like,
they should put him on.
maybe he's ready for like a 3D Max or like a Gamer Legion.
Mongols.
The team's already bad enough. You want him worse? Please.
Okay, I think somebody will pick him up for the major. I mean, he's definitely good to be on a lot of the teams that'll be at the major. Maybe not
still
the
got some
auto-qualified
issues.
teams, but like the stage 2 and the stage 1 teams, he's for sure good enough.
Okay, no more talking about simple. Pat, what's your feed?
Wow, we want to talk about simple. No, mine's just about Furia. They're breaking into now the top 2 into the VRS. And yeah, this rating system, speaking of 3.0 and then just Valve's ranking system for teams is just trash. It literally, this makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, they beat the #1 team in the world. What do you mean? They move up.
And these are the teams that have been playing events like Vitality, Spirit.
Correct.
They haven't been playing any
That
events,
is
so
the
you're
thing.
not going to get points.
And that is the thing is it's
That's
tough.
that's why it's silly.
Well, that's
What do you mean?
to
You
me
can't
it's
sit
tough.
at the top and not play games.
I agree.
point.
It feels like
That's not what I was saying either.
But to me, it feels a lot like the UFC. If you don't defend your title in the UFC, you lose your title.
Yeah.
And like right now, I don't know why, but Vitality, Spirit, and Mals like to not show up to events for 60 to 90-day windows. And if we did a power rankings, which I'm certain we will do on this channel in a week or two, we will probably still have Vitality, Mals, and Spirit ahead of most of these teams. And that is because nobody would bet against them. I don't agree with Valve though saying, hey, this is the rating system. I do think it makes sense though if you want to invite teams to an event and like, are you want to invite the teams that show up or you want to invite the teams that don't show up?
I mean, those teams show up to the good events. They just don't show up to the little kiddie playgrounds.
Dude, if I'm playing,
So kudos to them for showing up to the kiddie playgrounds. I mean, that's nice. They're being a bigger brother to the small guys, but that's fine.
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yeah,
It's just silly that like people take this stuff to heart, and it's great. Like it's no diss to Furia. I'm happy for them. The Brazilian fans, they're passionate. All that, it's great. But it's like when I think of Counter-Strike as an overall, Furia is not #2 in the leaderboards whatsoever. So they put up there, yes, sure, because they're out there grinding in the little kiddie tournaments and they're doing okay. But like they're not #2 in Counter-Strike.
what's tough though is like, dude, that's $1 million plus event. There's been a couple fissures and there's been a couple events that are $1 million plus where you have not the big teams winning. And it's like, it's crazy to think at the end of the year, currently, we are probably going to see G2's big win, Furia's big win, Mongolz have had a huge payday. All of those orgs are going to have made more money than Falcons, than Aurora, than probably Mongols because of EWC might be up there, but Mals are probably going to have more money than. Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy to think that these kiddie tournaments that these guys are escaping out of are leaving literal millions, if not tens of millions on the table. Because like, dude, Vitality this year, if they won everything and just would have won the high dollar events, or they would have taken home like 20, 30 million. They'd have been competing with the international money. But instead, they're like, oh, I want 5.
Maybe they care more about the game than the money. It's not about the bag.
Well, if they cared more about the game, I think they would play in all the games that they can.
Yeah.
Why would they want to just go beat up on the Donnies?
I mean, there's also
They can
Well, they've been losing to them
play the game
recently.
Vitality kind of did that the beginning half of this year, though. They were going to every single event, and they were winning all the events they went to. And now, look at them.
And they stopped and they stopped.
Yeah, it's like I think
they were still
when you take
playing
your foot off
when
the
they took
gas,
the
like,
foot off the gas.
and that's my issue with Spirit is like I don't think them taking breaks from events actually helps them. In some ways, it hurts them, right? Because they lose kind of the you can't recreate clutch moments every single time, right? And so you only really get to be in those moments and practice them real time in some ways, which kind of sucks. But I think in some ways, some of these tournaments are the best practice some of the teams get at the same time. And so when you sharpen those skills and you get good like a Vitality does and keep running with it, it's a good thing. But it is like the burnout question is the back end of it. So what do we do? Do we not go or do we?
And I anticipated the burnout thing was going to be somebody here's point. And it's like, when I think about the greatest dynasty that ever was, it's unequivocally no contest, for sure, Astralis, right? You had a team that was like utterly dominant for a 3 to 4 year window. But the end of that undeniable dominance was the players started wanting to take breaks because they were burnt out from grinding for 3 to 4 years. And it's like, at a 3 to 4 year dynasty, I get you might be tired. But if you are a Vitality, bro, it was 6 months. Like, you didn't even make it a year. Like, you did win the major, and I'm glad you won the major, so you at least got to cement that. Because if you don't win that major, it is a forgettable 6 months.
I mean, it's also an update that happened in the middle. They literally did not adjust to the update that happened when it was
CT change is pretty big.
Yeah, the CT changes, and I couldn't tell you. I'm not the most analytical on taking apart Vitality, but something changed, and it's not good. But
sure.
Okay, let's look at the upper side of the bracket. I want to talk G2 for a little bit here. They just won last week. They came into this event, and we thought they'd be pretty hot with it, but they just weren't able to take down the best team in the world, the Mongols. So, it's tough when you go against the best.
Definitely not the best. That's crazy. Yeah, literal crazy.
I mean, I think it was a close series. They kind of lost it a little bit on Ancient. 9 to 13 isn't like the closest stat line, but 13-11 in the first map, Mongols won, and then kind of whooped Mongols on the dust too. But I mean, I think it was a good series. I mean, G2 didn't play terrible. Mongols just played a little bit better. Zywoo really stepped up, had a lot of really clutch rounds, and won them the game.
And heavygod did not stand down in this one.
Yeah. That was tough. No heavygod really hurt. And then, to me, the Mirage is tough because we even saw it at the major versus Vitality versus Mongols, where Mirage, for whatever reason, it just feels like the Mongols just like, they just have moments. Like that 9-10 ace moment was literally worth like 4 to 5 rounds. And it's like, it felt like they kept having those moments, and G2 should have won Mirage. They were the better team on Mirage for sure. But on CT, the Mongols, like, dude, they would just do something, and then it was worth 3 rounds. They would do something, and it's worth 3 more rounds. And then it's like, next thing you know, they're winning and about to close the map out. And the G2, the whole time, like every actual skirmish and exchange and play, it felt like they won it. But then it was like, just momentum just was like, whoop, Mongols, get out. And you're like, whoa, what is happening? This is weird.
Yeah. And I mean, G2, you know what I'm saying? Like, where are we at now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where to put them now, right? Like, I had big expectations coming into this event, and they just
around like 6.
Yeah, you put them in that A tier pool that I talked about earlier.
Somewhere in there.
You put them in that A tier that I talked about earlier. If they win the event, you're not too surprised. And if they get double bounce, you're not too surprised. It is what it is.
I think them winning the Blast event really shows that they can compete. I mean, like I think the big thing for this is like a lot of these teams they've known they're qualified for this major that's coming up, and so they want to get as many reps. And I think that's one reason Vitality's taking a break is like they know they're good to this major in Budapest, and they're trying to really formulate all their strategies and get ready for that. And like you have G2 now, they've proven that they can compete at the highest level. They beat Mongols, and Mongols was in the finals at Austin, so let's not forget that. Like we can say they're not a top team, but they were in the last major final. And so I think G2 is going to show that they can compete. Mongols has shown that they're still ready to compete. And it's really all building up to this major. That's the next time we're going to see everybody at their best.
Yeah. And I do think that, to your point, and I don't think you meant it this way, but this is the way that I'll take it, is the major, you say Mongols made it all the way to the finals. And they did at times have a fighting chance to take down Vitality in that series. But that side of the bracket was like super weak. I mean, people on this show and in this office voted that FaZe would be the one to represent that side, that Furia would be the one, that Pain would be the one to represent that side. So, like, if we get a weird similar bracket again at Budapest, like, it can be a G2, it can be an Aurora, it can be a Falcons. Like, a lot of people on a weak bracket can 100% make it to the finals. And then, if G2 has the best day of their life, could they beat that good of a Vitality team? Probably. I mean, they've won events. It's doable.
And Vitality hasn't looked great.
100%. You need to have your good day, and they need to have a bad day. And that's why I think that a lot of these teams have proven that it's winnable, but it's not probable.
I think it's probably it's the most even we've seen Counter-Strike in a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, last season it was always the Vitality show, and it was Spirit, Mongols, or Mouse against them. And now it's like that door has opened up where the top 8 is now a part of the conversation.
And I'm curious to see with more reps, because it does feel like Spirit we've seen the least amount of reps out of so far. Mouse has just looked shaky. Even before the major, they started looking shaky. But we have seen a good run of Vitality, and Vitality has looked really inconsistent. Spirit, the first 2, looked really dominant. and then just threw away EWC. And it's like, is it they had a bad event and they actually are really good, or is it one of those to where like, no, they're still top of the world and better than everybody else? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's not like
It's sad. It's sad to me because it's like I do agree with what David said that Counter-Strike and the teams that are out there are definitely more close now, and it seems like it could be anyone's game. But I don't feel that these bottom teams have been improving.
Damn.
I feel like it's just the top teams have just stopped being dominant, and now they are here and they're allowed a chance now because of their incompetence. But it doesn't feel like Counter-Strike as a whole has gotten better.
No.
Like these teams are still so inconsistent in the way that they play. It's like they have their tournament, they pop off, they win. Next tournament, not so great. Next tournament after that, probably won't be that great again. They might get a little upset somewhere, but then in a couple, they'll pop off again. It's just like it all relies too much on individual players or certain scenarios for them to be able to do good. And I prefer it better when we have teams that are actually all competent and all capable to play. Not just the Vitality dominant show. Like, we don't need just one team to dominate, but we need them all to rise up to the same equal playing field. So they'll all just be better.
But I don't want to discredit them, but I think we're a little bit biased because of what we saw Vitality do at the beginning of the year. Like, they show up to every event and they win it, and so we got really used to that. And now that it's not that, it's they're getting worse. It's like, no, these other teams that are behind them that were fighting for so long to beat them, they've gotten better and they've closed the gap. That's what I think.
Well, and Liquid falls into that conversation, right? Because they're one of those teams that have shown up and done better in the past couple events, right? Where they were kind of more bottom of the tier. They took one map off of each of the teams they played here, right? They beat Aurora real bad.
Yeah.
Smacked them around. But it's interesting that that level playing period has definitely changed the landscape. In this
Yeah,
tournament.
to me, it's one of those where I think that what Pat is saying is that it felt like, and this is no discredit to Vitality, but in the whole spring, when we saw Vitality Spirit and Mongolz play each other, or Vitality Spirit and Mals was really the one that at times felt inconsistent. But Spirit and Vitality, you felt like you were watching beautiful S-tier best Counter-Strike, and Vitality was just slightly better. And you were watching a very beautiful, perfect Counter-Strike. And then now, dude, this feels like the Boston Major when America won, which very thankful America won, but that was a battle of slop. Like, it was a battle of bad plays. It was a battle of like inconsistency.
And dude, the greatest Counter-Strike tournament ever.
I don't
You better
disagree. I'm
calm
saying
down.
that if we get to this major and we're still in this, dude, anybody has a chance. An American team may have a chance.
No.
It's possible.
No. Any team can have a chance, yeah, and that does make it fun. Don't get me wrong. I think it does make it's more fun to watch. It's more upsetty. It's almost like Valorant. You never know who's going to win at this point. So it's like that creates some excitement, but at the same time, it also just creates chaos. Like the Falcons, basically. It's like watching a bunch of dumb plays be made over and over again.
Speaking of chaos, we have NAVI. They took down the StarLadder event this past weekend, and one thing that's interesting about this, I think if NAVI had not won this event, we would have said a very different storyline, the fact that NAVI is kind of dead. But NAVI came out and said, hey, we knew this was a different event. We wanted to go and take it down. They did. They beat NIP in the finals. They did lose one game early on against a team named Nine, I think it is.
Nine, yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting that this was kind of going on at the same time. And they got some points. You know, they move up in the VRS rankings a little bit. They take down an event. They build some confidence as they move along. Dylan, what do you think about this?
The fact that if you go back a screen real quick to the top players, the fact that everyone on NAVI doesn't fill all of these categories is insane to me. If you would have taken this photo and said NAVI and NIP were playing in the finals of an event like 5 years ago, people would have thought this is the big S-tier event. And then right now, you look at the rest of the names in this event, and you're like, what in the world has happened to where these are the games that we're getting? I mean, I'm thankful that they won, because if not, I don't know what we should be talking about. Maybe just sunset the org at this point. Because, like, dude, it's crazy.
They're still ranked 10 in the world.
Yeah, and they're playing literal butterscotch Girl Scout cookie salesmen.
And they won.
Yeah.
And they won.
They did win.
They did handle business. I want you to bring that graphic up of the Alexi B comment at the end of the graphics you just showed right there, because I think that's one of the most true things that's about this team, and kind of relates to what we were talking about with Falcons earlier. But he's saying that after they debuted in Cologne with Mikaze, because they looked good there. They really did. They played some really good series, and they also thought that they were above what they really were in terms of what results they could pull off. And I think that a couple of us on the desk, me included for sure, I was also guilty of this. I thought that this was going to be a great team since they added Mikaze and they were going to be able to compete. But it shows that like you can have one good tournament, but when you have a new honeymoon phase, you bring on a new player, it's undetermined of how good you can actually be. Now, if you've been a roster that's been set up for a while and you have a good tournament, that's a different story. You've put in the work, you've really earned your results. But like this, he comes in. I think they really needed a hard reset to go down. Obviously, they're playing some tier 2 teams, some Donnies, you would call them. But it was good that they won it. They did what they were supposed to do. They only dropped one map.
They do.
I mean, dude, it's crazy to me because, like, I will give them props and shout out to Navi for doing this. I would have never done this ever because, like, it's insane that you're taking a team that is like, you know, if you put this in soccer terms, you're taking a Premier League team and then you're saying, I'm going to go play in like a Div 3 tournament real quick. Because if you lose everything. If they finish like T4, T6 in this, they are the literal laughing stock of Counter-Strike. The top 10 team in the world lost to 42. It's like,
they got beat by Grimsby.
100%, they got beat by Grimsby, bro. It's like, you just risk so much. And they did go out. They did handle business. They did not fall. But it feels like a loss-loss situation to where it's like, you're expected to win. And then we're now arguing that, hey, you didn't win by enough. Because in my opinion, I think if you put anyone else in the top 10, they probably are, all 10 players are running up that score.
I mean, yes, I'm getting a stat from the producer right here that both teams won. Furia won 200K and NAVI won 200K. So we talk about equal playing field. But I think what's interesting about this one is that when you play down like this, you don't get better. Your game does not improve. If anything, you play worse and you train other teams how to play at your level, right? And so now when you try the same situation that you tried against NIP, against the Mongolz, it doesn't work, right? So it's bad practice, but it is free money in the fact that they did take it down. So it's kind of, it's one of those, you did risk a lot, but you gained some and you lost some at the same time. So in some ways, I don't know. This is a interesting move from the organization to be able to take this, but I don't know if I hate it or love it.
I think it's a beautiful risk. I think it's a beautiful risk to like what Alexi B said. I think that's true. It's like you go through these phases, the honeymoon phase, like David said, and then it's over. And then sometimes you just need to get the boys together and you just need to go run some games. You get your comms together. It's not about like, yeah, we're not really getting better because we're beating these lower rated teams. It's more about like how we communicate with each other, how we play the game, and like just learning the feel of each other's play. So then when you go back to face those higher up teams, you know, you're more of a unit.
Get their confidence up.
Yes.
Hey, it did that.
But if they would have lost, yes, it would have been funny. It would have been.
And it would have chalked their confidence.
It definitely would have.
Grip sure.
We're going to go to a fun segment that we haven't done yet here. I think this is the first time we're doing it on this piece of Queued Up. But we're going to Clutch or Kick. Dylan, you get to go first. The goal is to get everyone to vote Clutch for whatever you're about to say. We hope that you pick something amazing. Go ahead.
This, Pat is probably going to shed a tear, so I just want to set the stage for that. I've never thought I would say this at any capacity, but I think that co-streaming on Tier 2 events should be mandatory, either at a national level, so representative of your country, or representative of your teams. Because, dude, Madhouse TV, shout out to those guys, Gordox, Hen1, Lucas, and FKS. Like, that was the coolest broadcast experience. I don't even speak your language, but it was the most fun thing I have ever been a part of witnessing that event. Dude, it was beautiful. Such good vibes. The coolest thing imaginable. I love the clip from those guys. So fun. But co-streaming should basically be mandatory for Tier 2 events.
Let me get in here. Big Clutch. I've always been a fan of co-streaming. I think it is depending on who you talk to, the unfortunate side effect of going forward with streaming tournaments and stuff, because like personalities are what drive the audience. And yeah, the tournaments are beautiful, the lights are nice, the casters are good, but sometimes you need that. It could be national with like the Brazilians or the Mongolians. It also can just be like Tarek or like OnlyPixel or any of those that they're streaming. Just they bring so much more to it than just the broadcast itself. And it's beautiful, and they can integrate them in ways and make it all part one unit.
I'm going to clutch this too, mainly because the Tier 2 events section, because I think they are the main events that need the help. Like if you're playing in Cologne or if you're playing in a major, the fans are going to be there. They're going to be able to back up the team. They're going to be able to have that atmosphere. But a lot of these Tier 2 events don't really have that. And so I think we really need that to really build the scene, to set the stage for what's to come at these big events. Clutch.
You do hate everything fun.
I do hate everything.
He just
fun.
doesn't want to get the clutch.
You only think this is cool because of the one-offs. What the problem is that most of these other groups for these organizations can't pull off a stream like this. They don't have the funding. They can't be able to do it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't require it, but I'm saying that what the products you would get would be very different if you did require it.
No, right? And that's why I didn't necessarily want to go specifics, because I think I could have lost Pat's clutch over there. Because like I do think like the Tarek type co-streams and like the one-off single piece, like I think the flank in Call of Duty does a really good job. I think the Optic Watch Party does a really good job. But I don't disagree.
See?
I think that one-off people, though, it's like I don't want to see you in your bedroom talking about this game. But those dudes are grilling steaks, drinking beer. They love the team. They're supporting that. They're representing that team. And that's why, like, to me, it should be org or country or, like, some professional thing to say, hey, we're putting effort in this to make it nice. This is a product to help grow the scene, not I don't want to go to the event and I just want to cut on the stream and talk about what happened.
And my issue with it is not the fact that you should require it. It's that if you did require it, the quality of that product would be so low in so many areas that it would be a waste.
It could be true.
This is what the young people like now. Just gotta get with the times. We're not the deciders anymore. We're getting old. You gotta get in with the times. People are chronically online.
Davis, try and convince us of something that we don't know.
Alrighty, so my clutch or kick. It's gonna be hard based on what we've already talked about this episode. But my clutch or kick is Falcons will win an event here in 2025.
Oh
and I'm clutching that.
Oh my!
So
You're saying not just S tier, any event.
yep, they will win an event.
What are they signed up for?
Did they pick the right event? I don't know. This is tough.
Why
They could.
Why do you think
I don't want to explain. I just want to leave it at that, and I'll let you guys explain.
If anybody wants to go,
I'll go. I mean, I'll clutch because, I mean, it's one of those things where I believe that the team is capable of winning. They are just going through some problems, and once they iron it out, they should theoretically be able to win. I don't think it'll be a major or of any sorts. They'll probably win another one of these little bitty tournaments with the kiddie leagues, and that's what they'll finally win.
I'm going to be coy. I'm going to agree with you. Technically, that says win an event in 25. They've already won an event in 25, just to be clear.
from this moment forward.
From this moment forward, though,
forward.
I think they have a team that is more than capable. And I also think that because Vitality and Spirit are not in a supremely dominant fashion, if G2 can win, Falcons can win, Aurora can win, Mongolz can win, I think they can win, and I think they will get it done. I agree with Pat, though. It's not going to be the major. He hates everything.
He don't want super clutches. That's all it is.
I don't think they're going to win an event. Especially after this one. I mean, they were primed to roll through. You know, they should have won this one. They should have taken down Furia, and then they should have beat Mongolz. I think this was their shot. I don't think they're going to go up from here. I think they're going to go down from here. So, no. Sorry.
The reason I didn't want to defend my point is because Dylan actually took my point of emphasis. If all of you clutched it, I was going to say, well, they already won one, so who the rest?
There you go.
Yeah, it's tough though.
I'm just
like,
a hater today.
Dude, if I think about the betting lines of it though, if it was a straight line on the bet on like a money line for them to win, dude, I don't know what I would take.
Yeah.
It'd be so hard.
A lot.
Yep.
It'd be
It's
so
got to be
hard.
like 500 plus at this point.
Dude, if it's 500 plus, I'm in. I'm taking that. But if it's break even,
No.
Up to this point, I have normally picked the Falcons to win something, and they never do. They haven't. I mean, they won with Dexter, right? And that was the one event. And it's like,
Hey, pro tip: whatever I pick isn't gonna happen. So just tell me to pick their opponent.
we're good. Yeah.
The last event with Dexter, they won, and then they went second place, and then have fell off the map.
Yep. It's just been terrible. So I don't know.
Speaking of Dexter, where's my man at? Dude, shout out
Sitting
to
at
him,
Drop
bro.
Kerrigan, put Dexter
Dude,
there.
put him somewhere, bro. Like, dude, that kid was beaming. He literally was an MVP, and he's probably not gonna play the rest of the year. It's crazy.
Right. It is crazy. I've got a clutcher kick for y'all.
Let's see it.
So, Old Man Fallen takes down the victory here in this last event. And I think age is just a number. I think you can do it if you're an old man. I think this is Pip being able to give them some kudos on how cool it is that he did win. So age, my clutcher kick for the record is age is just a number. Doesn't matter how old you are in esports.
No, it is a number, and it is very critical. Kind of like your firepower, your rating, all of those others. It is pristinely critical. There is no one, and I don't think this, I might be wrong, and I'm certain somebody will prove me wrong otherwise, but anyone over the age of 30 has been an MVP, maybe ever. Like, there is a reason for that. And I think he did a good job as an IGL. Just like I think Apex does a good job as an AGL. Apex of today would get decimated by Team Envious Apex. Like, it would not even be the same person. And you see this in every game. Like, I adore Faker in League of Legends, but Chovy is better and younger, and he is going to dominate this game for longer. And
That's
Faker's
a
time is
bold
out.
statement, brother.
What do you mean? I don't think it's
I
a
need
bold
to get
statement.
him on the other show. over here.
I don't think it's a bold statement. I think
Not.
Chovy is now far better. Now, you can still argue Faker's legacy, just like you can argue Fallen's legacy. You can argue Kerrigan's legacy. But, dude, nobody has taken today's Kerrigan versus pre-phase Kerrigan. You're taking pre-phase Kerrigan every time.
I'm going to have to kick this as well. I don't think it means nothing. I think that there's a spot for older people in esports, like you said, and the IGLs having the experience. Yeah,
Coaches, the desk.
Coaches, the desk. Yeah, I think that they can IGL well, and I think that they bring a lot of experience, and especially on-stage experience, like being able to calm your team down, let them know, like, hey, I've been in this moment a lot. Here's how we can navigate this. I think there is a spot for them, but I think that it definitely means something.
It's not entry frag, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to give this a clutch with some caveats. My favorite thing is obviously age does mean something. You can't play forever. Just as traditional sports as it is, as you get older, you get slower. That's just how it goes, mentally and physically. But you can, and many have proven it here, that in your 30s, you can play and you can still compete. And you may not be the best shooter, but you can still play the game, because the game isn't just about clicking heads. It's about so much more than that. And a lot of these online little kiddos, bro, they think after you pass 22, you're 1 foot in the grave already when it comes to esports. And I don't think that's the case. And I think we need to scrub that from the mentality, because you can continue to play esports.
It sounds like you got some like pent up like Gears of
Yeah,
War
just
like
aggression.
like aggression.
He's ready to fire off.
Are you ready to go?
I'm past my prime. No, I'm one of the ones I'm done. Like, I faded off quick. But, like, there are people who still dedicate their lives to it in their 30s can definitely still
Fallen just showed us.
compete.
You know what
I
I'm
also,
saying?
my thing is, and I'm curious to see if this will happen. Like, as weird as it is in basketball, I think we got to see a little bit with LeBron. Is like we got to see a dude as big as him decide to play point guard. I'm curious when we get to see a talent that probably is not donk caliber talent, but maybe it is a Molodoy or a Quesarado or one of those younger guys who at 20, 21, 22 says, you know what, I'm just going to be an IGL. I'm one of the 25 best players in the world. I'm going to IGL at this age. I'd be curious to see what that looks like, because like if you swap in that firepower over an Apex, over a Kerrigan, over a lower firepower, more skill in the knowledge and IQ department, but less in the gun department, like I'm curious to see what that would look like on a big stage.
Yeah. I mean,
I think. Sorry,
ahead.
one more thing.
No,
I think
you're-
the egos kind of come into it. Like I was saying earlier, like you got so many. Don't get me wrong, Donk's the best player in the game right now, but you got a lot of players that are very, very competitive and think they're just as good as him on their own like level. And so getting somebody that you can like actually get behind as an IGL, they have to have a certain resume behind them for you to buy into that. So I think that's the one thing that really kind of hurts the younger guys.
Pat, what you got for us?
yeah, Pat, what's your clutch or kick, man?
For me, we're going back to the Falcons a little bit. And for me, it's just that Mondesi is not the little child prodigy that we thought he was. You know, before he left G2, going into the Falcons, he was touted up there as the best opper in the game, one of the best players. He was beating everybody. And now, throughout this stint, through this the little bit of the last season into this season, it's like it has been, he has not been performing. I would say right now, at the caliber that he's playing, he is one of the worst oppers in the top rated teams. I think Zywoo definitely beats him now in just the op department. Molodoy beats him. 910 beats him. Shiro definitely beats him. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic player, and he showed it that he can do it, but he's not consistent enough. He just falls off.
I feel like we got to start with Davis here, but it just that .55 is like, do we do that?
Yeah. That was also 2 maps. That was 2 maps of games. So 2 maps of
pro
stats.
lobby,
So
I don't know if we do that.
let's not give that too much, man.
I don't know if we get a 0.
But I do think he's fallen off definitely since he was on G2 coming into Falcons. But I think he's still definitely a prodigy child. He's one of the best. Overall, I think he's the 3rd top rated. Even after his fall off, for the entire year, he's the 3rd highest rated player in all. The Zywoo and Donk ahead.
Your kick is that he is still a child prodigy.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He is not a child prodigy anymore. The unfortunate thing is, I think to be a
Maybe
child,
he's just not a child anymore.
that might be true too.
This is true.
He's a prodigy still.
I think to be in the prodigy category, my opinion is you either have to be the best or the second best, and I do not think he is either of that for the youthful community. I think right now it is Donk, not close as the young prodigy, and then I think next is for sure Keisuke. And I think he's lost so much. Like, you would argue now that Molodoy is a younger, better opper than him in recent events. I'm not sure if that's going to hold true for the year. He's top 3 on the year because the first half of the year he played well. The second half of the year he's played terrible. So
He's just on a bad team. Just needs a different IGL. The culture on that Falcons team is what we've been talking about as the issue. And it's
Niko's
not
like bumping his arm, making a missed shot.
Well,
like,
yeah, I don't know what it is, but I mean, there's definitely they have an interesting relationship in
Sure.
the fact that he looks up to him,
He does.
and Niko has not been playing his best, and so I think Monashi's just in a weird atmosphere. It comes back to that age and IGL conversation, where I think if you put a different IGL on that team, you see a different Monasy, and so I think they're just struggling.
Dude, Donk is playing with literal little kids, it feels like, when it comes to Counter-Strike. And he's over here. He doesn't drop a ball.
he does.
So his excuse
You're
is
talking
he
about
just
the
got
difference between like a
team-
regular top tier player and a
Oh,
generational talent in Donk.
But I think that's what
So he's not a
prodigy
child
is, though.
prodigy.
That's what
Okay, there we
prodigy
go.
is.
So you should be clutching it. You should be clutching it.
And I do think I agree with you. I think if we were categorizing Monasy as an above average player, I think this is what we would expect out of an above average player. And I think that is totally fine. I think if we were saying he is a generational prodigy, I do not. I think he is now. He can regain that plausibly, but like the start he had was generational prodigy. The last 6 months has not been generational prodigy. Pretty much since Dexter left, it's been. What are the
Hit or
Falcons
miss.
doing? It's hit or miss, and sometimes
He has
he
good
hits,
series, yeah,
and
he has good
sometimes he
series.
misses.
His op is just so inconsistent. Like he literally used to hit. He used to be the best opper. Like literally, he would hit every op shot, no questions asked. And now it's just like he's missing simple op shots.
Well,
He's not a simple.
We will hope. We will hope that he turns it around because clearly he's not going the right direction for 2 people here.
Whoa.
Oh. Okay, let's talk ESL Pro League. We got to talk about which teams are going to make it out of stage 1. We've got. This is what we're going to do as a desk. We're going to come collectively. We're going to, in some ways, compromise because we have to come to 8 teams as a desk that are going to make it into stage 2. They're going to play our top 8 teams. But let's show us the first set of these are the teams that we have to pick 8 from that are going to go on. And then I want to show the next page of who they're going to play. That's who they're going to play. There's our top 8 for that. And then, okay, go back to the other one.
It's crazy that Aurora and FaZe and NAVI were on the other page, not on this page.
It's crazy. It is crazy because, yes.
Maybe even Falcons.
Okay, so
Yes.
I think we can easily take as a group Furia and G2 off the table, right?
Yeah, I think
probably gonna make
I
it.
agree with
think
that.
that's safe. I would also say Heroic is probably safe in my mind.
Let's wait on that one. Let's wait on
They've
that.
been looking a little.
Okay,
shaky.
I would like to make a statement for M80.
Yeah, I want to go with the
think
American.
America?
We have to pick an American
No,
team.
this is an American
I'm,
show.
Bro, I'm good with it.
Yeah, we have to pick one American team. I was gonna say that too.
I mean, if we're gonna take one team, we got to take one American team. So I think we take an M80 off the table as a 3,
Yep, that's
unless you veto it, Pat. You can veto it. It's a compromise.
Let's think about some more, man. I think M80's just.
Yeah, but you had to admit, when they played Vitality, and then who was the other team they played?
They had
Who's
their
the team they got
moment.
eliminated by?
Vitality. They lost 2-1.
But who was the other team? They won the first
They
one.
beat. Yeah, they beat.
They lost to somebody at the end.
Mount or no?
Might have been
Mongols?
somebody like that.
I think they
Mongol or
lost
Mouse,
to
somebody like that.
I don't
But
know.
they did play very well against those
Yeah.
teams. Now the scary thing is sometimes they play like cheeks versus their own teams, and that's the scary part.
It was just like that was a difficult one because that was just like the same thing I was talking about
All right.
earlier. It's just
All
a
right, go
pop-up
back. Why don't we
moment.
just kill some teams?
We'll go back.
Let's
We'll
kill
see if we
some.
can find
3D
number
Max,
3.
they're going.
Let's just go to the bottom. Okay, does anybody believe in
whole
the
bottom.
Roosters?
Oh, that's
No,
true.
the whole
I know
bottom.
Roosters.
I don't think the
FX probably no, right?
No,
whole bottom
no,
is good.
absolutely.
I don't
not.
even know what the
O2.
I
Asia
don't know.
close qualifier.
TNL probably not. Now NRG has had moments. Lin Vision has her boy Amelia on there, and I adore that man.
Dude, it's like the legacy conversation over Lin Vision.
Legacy has looked terrible after that event.
Totally. I mean,
Now they look really good in that event.
they had a good. They had a good.
Had a good major.
Gamer Legion.
If
GL
it was
is hit or
me, I
miss.
would say the first 6 teams, M80 and Lin Vision.
I don't even trust VP anymore. They're trash.
I would trust VP over GL. GL
I don't
has been
know,
really
man.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
I mean, VP has also been inconsistent.
VP has been playing like dog
Okay.
water.
3D
gotta
Max.
think
3D
these other
Max.
teams are really
I think we can 3D
I mean,
Max.
they are.
Yeah, I'm good with 3D.
3D Max is a 3 for
Yeah,
sure.
that whole top
think
row.
Astralis-
With this.
Yeah, I think they'll go
Astralis,
top row.
Astralis is a 4. I think we're gonna get weird here in the middle. I would like to see B8 move on.
Okay, I'm not agreeing with that.
You're
That's fine.
Over who do you want B8? Who do you want over B8?
For me, if I had to pick 2 more,
Yeah.
if I was just gonna give 2, I'd go VP and Heroic as the next 2. Outside of that.
That's so safe.
Let's just do this. We have 4 picked already. There's 4 of us. We each get 1 team to pick.
Okay.
All right. Who you go, Davis?
I'm picking him, Eddie.
I do them.
I'm not Matt, what are you doing?
You get one.
Bring me the teams back. Bring me the teams back. I'm losing them. I need Ooh, it's definitely not VP. I'm not picking them, and I swear y'all better not pick them either. They're trash. I'm gonna go with GL. Impress me a little bit. I think they have. I'm not saying they're gonna win the thing, but
it is better
That
than
means one of us has to take VP over it. You're
sure.
gonna take heroic.
I think NRG at times look good. I think Lynn at times has looked good.
I'll give you the last one, and I'm not taking VP.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna take B8.
Oh my god, dude, we're chalk.
This is a tight spot for you. This is a tight spot.
B8 looked good. B8 looked good in the major, and that team is.
Dude, I'm going heroic.
I knew you were gonna go heroic.
Yes.
So no
VP
gamer
bounce.
legion,
Let's go.
no
Watch them
legacy,
dominate.
no VP.
No
Who did Pat
Lin.
pick?
I picked GL.
Yeah.
Oh, he did pick. Oh, so no VP, no
Farm
Lin.
Academy.
Oh my gosh, we'll see how we.
Dude, I
do.
had such high
Dude,
hopes.
they have been doing better than VP. Just gonna say it.
Dude, they had their run for the Paris Major a couple years ago was like one of the coolest runs. They're building this crazy academy thing up. Like, I thought GL was about to be like the
New
next
thing.
big thing.
Yep.
And then, boy, has it not panned out since then.
Decent team, though. I think they'll make it out of that group.
Davis picked M80. Pat picked GL. I picked B8, and you took heroic. And then it's the road
the
to
top
of
14.
The top
Yeah,
four
when
there.
NRG
G2.
and VP make it in there.
Ooh.
Two American teams are
Dude,
not making
I mean,
it through.
VP
One if we're lucky.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
One
a good
if we're
point.
lucky.
Go ahead and go in the comments below. Let us know who you think the top 8 should be that are going to go along to play in the stage 1 of the ESL Pro League. We have enjoyed your company here today with queuedup. We've talked some Counter-Strike. We think Simple's still the best, and he's going to
No, we
move
don't.
on and do all the great things. Mongol's still #1 in our hearts. The Falcons aren't
They
going
are?
to do it anymore. Wait a minute. What?
I don't think this is right.
What are you shaking your head for?
Yeah, I don't think this
Bro
is
saying a lot of wrong statements for this send-off. That's crazy work, bro. That's
I
crazy
thought there was
work.
a lot of accuracy within the.
See, Davis gets me. He understands. But this has been queuedup. Thanks for joining us here today. Let us know how you feel about the episode in the comments below. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next week to talk through what's going on at ESL.